Kyra has just recently turned 18. Her parents love traveling abroad, which is why she lives alone in a big house. Only literature keeps her from getting bored. She has one dream, to be loved, and today something new will happen in her life. She will meet another writer just like her. Teacher Jonathan. He found inspiration in this remote town. Kyra comes to class earlier than anyone else. This surprises Jonathan, and he asks where she lives. They share stories about their lives. Jonathan is amazed that Kara has read the entire curriculum. Kara jokingly replies that she likes it rougher. Then Winnie enters the room and takes her friend away to talk. While they're gone, Jonathan looks through Kara's books. He's interrupted by Boris, who immediately realizes that Jonathan is reading the girl's book, since its plot is very vulgar, something guys wouldn't normally read. By coincidence, Kara enjoys reading a book written by Jonathan. He lives together with his wife, Beatrice, who is also a writer. He tells her that his student is reading his book. The duo starts dancing, but they're interrupted by a call from Emmy. A new day begins. The teachers rest on a bench, sipping coffee. Boris wonders if ghosts live in the forest. A moment later, Kyra emerges from the woods and walks straight toward the teachers. Boris offers her cookies while Jonathan cannot take his eyes off Kyra. Shortly after, Winnie tries to get Boris's attention. She directly says she is interested in talking to him. Kara calls her crazy. After classes, the two friends meet up. Kara admits that it's hard for her to find a theme for her future book. Winnie suggests living through a moment that could inspire a story. For example, intrigue with the teachers. The problem is that neither of them has ever had a serious relationship. Winnie wants her first date to be with Boris. Kara must also realize that Mr. Jonathan looks at her in a special way, but Kara keeps denying it. The rest of the day she spends reading Jonathan's book, and during lessons they cannot take their eyes off each other. Jonathan asked her to come by after class, while in Kyra's head there's only one thought: to get all of his attention. Later, Jonathan decides to dance a little, but he's distracted by Kara. She promises not to tell anyone about his hobby. Jonathan suggests attending a poetry club. Maybe something will surprise her there. He has read her latest work and says he really liked it. Kara burns with embarrassment and explains what her piece was about. Jonathan wants her to write a story in the style of her favorite author. Kara accepts the task, adding that she has read his book completely and repeats some of her favorite lines. Jonathan doesn't even know what to say. Kara breaks the awkward silence and apologizes. Suddenly, Winnie walks into the room, and the duo ends their conversation. That evening, the teachers and Beatrice visit a cafe. Winnie also works there. Boris teases the girl while Beatrice asks how beautiful the student who read his book is. He replies that she is very smart and unique. Beatrice declares that Jonathan is not really a writer. He chose the job of a teacher. Since that day, he hasn't written another book. The next day, Kyra attends the Writers' Club. She feels that this day will be very significant for her. Jonathan is glad to see her. A boy takes the stage and reads his work. Jonathan listens closely, but Kyra looks only at Jonathan. The next day, she brings coffee to the teachers. Boris shares his cookies. Kyra doesn't understand why Boris makes such delicious cookies but doesn't tell anyone. He could sell them. Winnie could even make a logo. Later that day, the girls visit Jonathan. He says he is planning to go on vacation with his wife. Winnie notices the way Jonathan and Kara talk to each other. When the teacher leaves, she suggests that Kara make the first move and seduce Jonathan. Their conversation is interrupted by Boris. He decided to start selling cookies. Winnie quickly joins his team, needing only his help. That day, Kyra calls Jonathan. He promises that before leaving, he will stop by her place. Kyra reflects that when love is real, it is quiet and inevitable. A few hours later, Jonathan arrives at Kyra's house. She comes out dressed in a white dress. All Jonathan can do is stand and watch her walk toward him. Kyra stops and asks him to come closer. Jonathan still stands in place, so Kyra makes the first move. leading to a kiss. When he returns home, Jonathan keeps receiving messages from Kyra. The notifications irritate Beatrice, forcing Jonathan to retreat to the shed. There, he starts reading Kyra's new book. He gets carried away and imagines that the main characters are them. Unable to resist, he does something dirty. A new day begins. Kyra notices Jonathan's strange behavior and asks what's wrong. Jonathan tells her she needs to choose a new author. She insists that he himself asked her to write about a topic she knows. Jonathan asks if she really knows it. Kyra replies that it's about them. Seeing his confusion, she explains it's about two similar people denying social boundaries. Jonathan still thinks the book is too adult. Kyra insists he is just too scared. They are no longer strangers. Jonathan tries to explain that she is his student and he is her teacher. Kyra still wants him to admit that her work is good, but Jonathan refuses, and she calls him excessive but without ambition. He could be much better, but right now he is irresponsible. Before leaving, she leaves her story in the administration's box. In the evening, the friends meet. Winnie asks if she likes Jonathan. Kyra calls him like gas station sushi, but admits she still loves him. Meanwhile, Beatrice learns that Jonathan's student wrote a story, but he won't say who it was about. Beatrice persuades him to reveal the plot. Kyra suggests Winnie text Boris. She does, and he visits Jonathan's family. Beatrice notices Boris texting someone, but he doesn't reveal who. The conversation shifts, and Boris puts away his phone. Jonathan gets a call from the administration accusing him of inappropriate relations with Kyra, but he denies everything. He realizes that if she manages to prove something happened, he could lose his job. Beatrice adds, not only his job, and asks him to tell the truth. Jonathan swears nothing happened. The next day, Kyra skips classes, and Winnie looks very confused. She tries to make Jonathan feel guilty, but he remains cold. Later, Kyra goes to the principal and describes their adventures. Jonathan is forced to defend himself. Luckily for him, their stories match. To the final question, Kyra replies that nothing happened that she didn't like. Obviously, Jonathan doesn't know what she answered, and it unsettles him. During the break, Boris realizes that Jonathan has fallen in love with Kyra. Unfortunately, Jonathan doesn't see the line that must not be crossed. That's why he got into such trouble. Back home, Beatrice asks her own questions. She doesn't believe his lies, and Jonathan cannot deny that there was a spark between him and Kyra. This is the last straw, and Beatrice decides to file for divorce. Winnie comes to Kyra and asks her not to hurt Jonathan, since it will destroy his life just because he rejected her. Winnie promises to defend Jonathan and say that Kyra is lying, but Kyra quickly replies that Winnie cannot do that because she has compromising material on both her and Boris. When Kyra finishes writing her book about herself and Jonathan, the film ends. Write in the comments how you would rate this film, or just share something interesting. See you very soon. Bye.